Right. Well, I think with regard to undergraduates, again, I would make a distinction between religious studies as such and theology. Again, religious studies, let's face it, religion has been perhaps the most important force in this world for most of its duration. And therefore, I mean, you know, if you're talking about knowing what's going on in the world, you ought to know something about the world's religions. I mean, it's as simple as that kind of thing. I mean, let's face it, religion had an influence on people's life long before modern sciences came along. Now, I mean, I don't want to downplay the science. Like, they're very important. But on the other hand, I mean, religion has had a tremendous influence and impact, and if we're going to try to people who understand the world in which we live, we ought to know something about religion. Now, with regard to theology, in other words, that would be for people who come out of a certain faith tradition and want to know more about that tradition. Well, again, it seems to me that educated people, one of the dangers in the Catholic Church is that Catholics so often today still have a first-grade education with regard to their faith. And if we're going to have, an adult view of everything else, of science, of literature, of technology, of history, we certainly ought to have an adult view of our religion. And that's the whole importance then of teaching theology in a Catholic college, so that we get to know the depths and the heights. We get a much more critical understanding of what faith is about. To its great credit, the Catholic tradition always said that faith and reason cannot contradict one another. And at our best, we've talked about the role of theology. The more we know, the deeper we know, the truly more critical we are, the better off it is for ourselves, for our faith, and for the church, I would think.